In this video, we're going to go through a ton of different options that work from light duty to heavy duty so that you don't waste your time and money and eventually end up having a really nice picture that you love falling on the ground and smashing. So here we go. I'm going to show you something right now. Drywall screw into drywall. A lot of people have the misconception that if the screw's made for the material, then it should hold. The reality is, it doesn't hold nothing, okay? This is for attaching drywall to the stud, not for hanging anything on drywall. So forget that. There are a ton of different anchors in the market today, and some of them are designed just for hanging a picture, and it doesn't take a lot. They have adhesives or the little wire that's kind of looped and it sits on the drywall. But what I love to use is the drywall anchor plug. Now you'll see me use these on a lot of different applications. I use this when I'm drilling a hole in tile to mount fixtures in a bathroom. Basically, this kit comes with the plug and the screw that work together and the drill bit to make the perfect size hole to make this optimized. I'm going to show you how this gets installed. And we'll show you what it looks like on the back side of the wall as well. And then we're going to put the hammer to it and try to rip it out and see how well it holds. So one of the advantages, and this is really light duty, this is great for hanging pictures and that sort of thing, or even a mirror that may be only 20 pounds. And the idea is that you just find your spot and you drill your hole, nice and clean. Don't work it around and make the hole too big. Okay, and you'll notice that the plug barely gets in there. No special tools necessary. The strength in this anchor is when you sink the head nice and flush with the drywall. Then it just screws in and threads. And the idea is that the screw is just a little bit wider than the plug, and it makes the plug expand into the drywall and creates compression. Now, there are a lot of things in the world that you can set like this. There's furniture and mirrors that have the little hole in the back and you slide over and drop down on top. Or you can put a picture wire over top of that screw, and that does a pretty good job. Now, if you're just putting moderate pressure on there, that'll work. But if you're going to mount something like, let's say, a medicine cabinet, and you don't have the studs, this is what happens. It's not going to hold. So this package says it's a number 8 screw, and it's a 1/4 inch hole, all right, for the drill bit. So whenever you're going to shop, make sure you get the right drill bit for the plastic anchor, because not all the kits are this big that come with their own drill bit. This is the next one we're going to take a look at. It says it's rated for 35 pounds. Not bad. That's a pretty significant amount of weight. Now on the back of this, it also says it's a 1/4 inch hole. So let's make another one. Now you'll see this one's a little bit different. Instead of just a plastic sleeve, it actually has sides that expand and pop out. So forcing this into the hole is a little more complicated. Of course, anything can be fixed with a hammer, and anything can be used as a hammer. Here we go. We'll get the screw, we'll put it in, we'll try that out. Now this one's rated for 35 pounds, as I said, and it reacts a lot the same, except that the compression mechanism, it seems a little bit more durable. Let's give this a shot with a hammer, and we'll just give it a straight yank and see what happens. Okay. It left a bigger hole. I don't know if it seemed to have any more strength being pulled off the wall, but they've been tested, so at 35 pounds of hanging weight is what that rating is for. Has nothing to do with if you're mounting a cabinet. Just remember that. Now the next type is this. It's got a rating for 63 pounds, and that means 63 pounds of vertical hanging weight. It's kind of like a corkscrew plug. It's got a thick thread on it that's designed self-drill, so you don't need an extra drill bit with this. That's an extra benefit. Now the idea here is you just put your drill bit right in there. See, it's a Phillips. God, you know how much I love Phillips. And it just drills into the wall. You gotta be real careful not to over drill here, because then you'll end up just boring out the hole. That's the danger with this. So use something that you can be nice and careful and trigger happy with. And we just attach the screw. Time for the hammer test. Wow, that really holds a lot better, but I'll tell you right now, if you're using this to attach a vanity sink to a wall or a cabinet or something, and somebody sits on it, you're going to pull it right out of the wall and destroy a good part of your wall as well. Now, in order to fix this, you have to take all of this off. Of course, prime it with some oil paint, then you can patch it. What a mess. The next product is the metal version. And here's why they invented this. It's because the plastic version, sometimes in certain situations, especially if you've got fire-rated drywall, that plastic tends to be ripped apart by the drill bit from your drill. And then you can't get it all the way in, and then of course you can't back it out because it gets just mauled. So we're gonna use the metal one now, and we're gonna see how much easier it is. Okay, so that's funny. Max actually missed that shot. It happened so quick. We're gonna try this again. Ready? That one has a much greater ability to be threaded in and driven with some action and attitude. We're gonna add the screw. Give her the yank test. Whew! That actually came out a lot easier. Oddly enough, I think it's because I over tightened, and what you saw there was the action of me boring out the hole. Yeah, you gotta be really careful with those things. The next type of fastener is a little more unique, and it has a different kind of design to it. Again, it's a plug for going in the drywall. But on the back side, you'll see it's got this really cool arrowhead design, so you pinch it together to stick it in the hole. But then when you tighten the screw, it comes out the other end, and it flares out to grab the back side of the drywall. A little different. So I'm just guessing here. We're gonna try it with the 5/16. See if I can make this work. Wonderful thing about drywall, if the hole's a little small, you can just give it a bit of a rotation, and then you can work it in. There we go. We'll get this one the yank test. Hopefully I don't pull my shoulder out. Okay. Not all that exciting. I was expecting more from that. You'll see the hole here is more rectangular, and it matches the design of that flared out piece of plastic. It didn't seem to have any better of a grip than any of these other plugs, and it still made a huge mess. Very interesting. So before we go any further, and I show you this monster anchor that I picked up, I just wanted to discuss the cost, because this one is about 100 pieces, and it's $18. Think about that. All of these other options came 4 in a package and were about $5 or $6, which makes them a little more than $1 each. So you think about it, if they all do the same job in holding the vertical weight, and they're all gonna tear out with any kind of force, there's not a whole lot of need to upgrade from the cheap ones to all of these other ones. That's my opinion. But now comes the mother of all anchors. Here we go. There's only 2 in a package, same price. These are $2 a piece. So I'm thinking to myself when I'm at the store, $2 an anchor. Still only going in drywall. Drywall's still only so strong. How good can this be? So we are going to find out. Now, before I stick this in, I'll just mention, there is one other type of anchor. It's called a toggle bolt. And have you seen those? They were big in the 70s. You could attach like your hanging lights and your potted plants and everything from the ceiling. What it is, it's a wing nut, and you screw it in, and then when you tighten it up, it really fans out. You've got these huge arms on it, like the size of my fingers. And that did a really good job. This is designed to be very similar. Actually, what happens here is when you screw this in, it causes this to pivot. I guess we'll have to just stick it in and we'll show you. I don't know if it's me or the package. I can't read the instructions. Thank God for cell phones. Now I can blow this up. Now I can read it. Okay. Here we go. The Cobra. Can't be held responsible for any time you do something stupid. It doesn't tell me. Oh, it's self-drilling. Nice. I don't need to pre-drill. Here we are. Whoa. Okay. And then there's a bit of thread. I don't want to over tighten this time. I don't want to be responsible for boring it out. That wouldn't be a fair test for the Cobra. Now you see it's not a regular screw, okay? It's just a machine thread screw. Put this in. It's gonna be hard to do the hammer test because I have to, let me just check from the back here. Oh yeah. So when you back it all the way in, it tightens that end and the back swings around and gets a nice solid lock on the drywall. And then you can back out the screw to the depth that you need for hanging whatever you're hanging, and the back stays intact. That's cool. Alrighty, here we go. Let's see how well the Cobra hangs up. All right, to be fair, I really yanked on that bad boy. I was kind of hoping, oh, my handle almost came off my hammer. Wow, let's take a look at the mess. That's pretty significant. I think what we're learning here is it doesn't matter what kind of anchor you're using. If you're going direct into the drywall, you're going to have failure if you're expecting it to act like a structural component in your home. Now, if all you're doing is hanging something on the drywall, that's fine. But now I'm going to show you the best fastener that you can get. So there we go. We've seen a bunch of fasteners work, and to a varying degree, they'll all perform reasonably well depending on what you're attaching to the wall. But the biggest test for attaching things to the wall comes in the bathroom. Literally, robe hooks, toilet paper holders, towel rods, all of these things that get put in the bathroom, when you buy them, they give you this cute little package of hardware. And when you open it up, inevitably they all have the same thing in there. There we go. They're going to give you the bracket, of course, that gets mounted to the wall. And then this gets set on there. That's great. But they also give you this. And the minute you see this, most people tend to think, oh great, I can just attach it anywhere. So you'll sit down on your toilet and you go, I'd like my toilet paper there. And then, the robe hook would be perfect on this location. And carelessly you go and drill holes and put these little plugs in. And then a week later, everything falls off your wall. It's because it doesn't work. Now the truth is this, I'm going to draw this out. You have a stud, okay? This is going to be what we call our 2x4, okay? It's 3.5 inches wide. The reason it's called the 2x4 is because originally studs were actually 2 inches by 4 inches. But over time, engineers have realized that we don't need that much wood in the wall to do the job, and so they've made everything skinnier. Now they're actually 1.5 by 3.5. Then we have an actual 1/2 inch of drywall, okay? Then we're going to have this little bracket that we're going to attach. Now, if you put a screw in a little plastic plug right here, what do you think is going to happen if there's no stud? It's going to pop right out. And if you use the screws that come in the package and you find a stud, what you're going to find is that the screw only makes it into the wood with the last 2 threads. Bad idea. Instead, you want to use this screw. Bum, ba, ba, bum. This is a 1 3/4 flooring screw. Okay, there's your bracket, there's your drywall. Look how much meat you have in that wood. I'm going to mark it. Okay. Now this is where the best fastener is your brain. Okay. You need to understand. Your code allows you 1.25 inches of space from the front of the stud to the back before the plumber or the electrician is allowed to drill a hole. All right. So you know, if you have 1/2 inch drywall, how long your screw can be up to that point. Because if the electrician wants a wire, he'll drill a hole and he'll run his wire in that place. And if you put in a screw, you're fine. No contact, no risk. If when you put in a screw and you blow through a water line or an electrical line, that's because someone else didn't do their job right, and they have liability insurance for that. Now, what we're going to do is a quick little demonstration of how you can find a stud. Before we do that, if you're doing a new renovation, new construction, you haven't closed your walls yet, take the time to think about where you want all these fixtures to be in advance and put bracing in the wall. And if you aren't sure how to do that, you can click the card. We have a video on how to prep your walls before you put the drywall on. It's a brilliant way to show you how to add blocking anywhere in the house you need it, to tie in a wall, to put in a towel bar. That'll be the solution to the problem. But the answer is you go to the store and you buy something like this. Okay? You stick it on the wall, you press the button, and it stays green as long as there's nothing in the way. And when you get that little red line, you stop and you make a mark. Come the other way, make your solid, and okay, there you go. Let's see how accurate that is. Studs are 1.5 inches wide, and that marks it off at 1 5/8. Pretty darn good. The goal here is to aim for the middle of that. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually mount this bracket on the wall. Oof, nice. That grabs really good. All right, so this particular type of fixture, it doesn't come like a lot of them. It's not an Allen key, so there is no Allen key in the package. So make sure when you're out buying fixtures that you take a look in the box, confirm that it's an Allen key or not, because you might need something like this, which is a really small, tiny screwdriver in order to set the set screw. And that would be another whole trip to the store for no apparent reason. All right, so you set it on the top of the bracket. All right, so jiggle it in there on the wall, and then you tie up your little set screw. Now, if this is done right with the right kind of screw, you should be able to hang off the wall on this thing.
Oh boy.
Are you ready for this?
Oh boy.
I don't even know if I got enough strength to do this. I'm getting old and fat. Yep, she ain't going nowhere. That is a fixture, because it's fixed in place. And before everybody complains that you're drawing on your wall, that's why I have kills. This stuff works on anything. There we go. Problem solved. All right, if that was helpful, guys, then like the video, help a brother out, hit the like button. All right, it sends a positive signal to YouTube that says you liked it, and therefore they should maybe share it with a whole lot of other people. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification for new videos that come out so that you can stay up to date, because we are producing a ton of content. And if you enjoy getting information in this kind of style, we kind of call this our bench series. It's where we just talk about random things and give you as much information as we can. It's kind of like going shopping and talking about what's on the shelf, right? You can click the button right here, and we've got information in there about different caulking and nails and screws and all kinds of things and tools that we use. Thanks for joining us today. Hopefully it was helpful. We'll see you again soon.